Morgana so much of my attention. The other reason, though, well, she'd probably go running if I told her. Hell, I wanted to hit myself over the head. I'll still be your friend, even if you turn out to be the ugliest girl in the city. You should be grateful.
How is it that you haven't managed to chase off everyone in your life yet?
I act like a decent guy around other people. Do my best to fit in.
Then why are you such a dolt around me?
Just doing my best to fit in.
So you're saying this is my fault?
Everyone could use a thorn or two. Makes them more exciting. You especially. Okay, that should be everything. Does it sting anywhere?
Not particularly, no.
Alright. Oh, also, finish up here and get back to Maria soon. Unless you'd rather I drag you there.
Why?
Seriously? It's your 10th birthday, that's why.
And?
What do you think, dimwit? She wants to celebrate.
Who's the dimwit now?
Me. Get back there soon, okay? I'm planning to drop by too. Okay?
Okay.
She gave a sheepish nod, which was honestly kind of cute, but of course I couldn't say that. So I shrugged my shoulders, feigning exasperation, and turned to. Once I might have offered to accompany her back to the brothel, but Morgana never seemed keen on the idea of walking anywhere with me. Maybe she was afraid of grown men, after what had happened to her at the Lord's Manor. Or maybe she just didn't want me to be seen with someone who looked like her. So, hey,
I thought you were leaving.
one day, I'll show you the world.
I won't get my hopes up.
Get your hopes up, damn it, I said with a soft chuckle, and then I took my leave. I had every intention of making good on that promise, and I had more than enough reason to believe I could. 3 years back, there was a slave revolt at the Lord's Manor. That's not quite accurate, though, because while I was partly responsible for inciting the riot, I wasn't actually a slave. The local lord was spoken of in whispers as the second coming of the great tyrant of old. The people were constantly grumbling about how he seemed to treat the land like his own personal playground, exploiting everything and everyone on it for his own amusement. When enough stress and resentment builds up in a contained space, all it takes is a little shove from the outside to burst. And that was our plan. Me and a number of other dissatisfied citizens gathered together to pop that bubble and give the Lord a taste of how we felt about him. With the help of a slave trader, I infiltrated the Lord's Manor. I had known that slaves were treated well, but seeing it for myself, I thought most of these people would have been happier having been born as a dog and cat, and owned by someone who actually had a heart. It was revolting, a flagrant injustice. Broadly speaking, there are two types of people who see injustice in the world. The first are those who have everything, who sit unchallenged at the top of the world, looking down on the less fortunate with pity. The second are those with nothing, who wish to overthrow the entire system keeping them down. It should come as no surprise that I fell in the second camp. Once I was inside, I went around the manor telling all the slaves about our plan. Most of them had long since lost the will to fight, but with enough assurance there were people on the outside ready and willing, waiting to help, glimmers of hope started to return to their eyes. Finding out they weren't alone, that they weren't helpless anymore, had an incredible effect on their morale. And once the slaves were convinced, the revolt began. It ended up being much larger in scale than I had imagined, and many lost their lives in the process, but the majority of them managed to escape. Naturally, the slaves couldn't stay in the city, so I directed them to people waiting outside who could take them to another city or a neighboring country. I had neither the money nor the power to guarantee them good life on the outside, but that hardly mattered to them. Everyone was sure that wherever they ended up would be better than staying, and I prayed that would be the case. It was during the revolt that I saved Morgana. I would have sent her off somewhere else like all the other slaves, but she was in so dire a condition when I found her that she could hardly even move on her own. She had been sapped of all her willpower. So I brought her to the brothel where a friend of mine worked and asked her to take Morgana. My companions and I reveled in the revolt's success. It wasn't enough an accomplishment to have any real political implications, but we still felt like heroes. Drunk on victory, we started talking about going bigger, starting a full-on revolution. Once the elation passed, though, we realized there wasn't much more we could do. Even if we did manage to start a large enough uprising to kill the Lord, we were only peasants. Not only did we not know the first thing about ruling, the other counts would never acknowledge our authority anyway. We'd pretend to be in control until the next in line showed up, and that would be the end of that. So we just ended up sitting on our thumbs, no way to do anything about our discontent. Skip forward to about a month before Morgana's birthday. One day, a middle-aged woman approached me. I had never met her before, but she had wavy hair that reminded me a great deal of my. Looking me straight in the eye, the woman said, "I was once a maidservant for the Barnier estate. They've done their best to keep it secret, but I had a child with the previous lord. And that child is you, what?"
Oh, so he was a bastard child. So that
Oh!
explains it. Okay, okay.
The revelation came completely out of the blue. According to her, I had royal blood, and if we could have convinced the lord of that, I would become royalty. Furthermore, she, as my alleged mother, could return to her old life at the manor. The woman urged me to take action. To meet the lord, reveal my lineage and reclaim my rightful place at the Banya house. I would no longer be a poor peasant living in the slums. I would have a comfortable life. I obviously wasn't going to agree on the spot. Her story was so blatantly dubious, I needed some time to think on it. If she was telling the truth, though, it could transform a revolution from a dream into a reality. We wouldn't be restricted to inciting inconsequential uprisings. I could seize power legitimately and make some actual change. So I asked the woman to give me some time to consider. I
Maria?
think, Marie, have you decided what you're going to give her? That was the very first thing I heard when I stepped through the back door of the brothel. Maria, a short, blonde-haired prostitute and good friend of mine, flashed me a devilish smirk. I bought a necklace as per your suggestion. Girls appreciate that sort of thing, don't they? Must do. Me, I got a taste for knives and other such pointy things. I doubt she has much interest in those, though. Sometimes I wonder if you're actually a girl. Anyone could see that Maria and I were close, but our relationship was strictly platonic. Of course, given her line of work, it was unavoidable that people thought otherwise. And honestly, it irritated me every time someone suggested that we were anything more than friends. People have this annoying, short-sighted tendency to assume that just because a guy and a girl are friendly, they must be intimate. Thank you, Hakopo!
Amen.
Finally, something you say is correct. Where am I? It didn't matter that she was a girl. I only thought of her as a friend, and as best as I could tell, that's all she thought of me as well. Maria and I first met when we were children. Even at that age, she was already a prostitute. Whoa!
Yeah,
Myself up at
remember,
the
he
thief.
ran away when she was like 10.
Right! Yeah, she left. We were both incredibly lucky to have survived to adulthood with only ourselves to watch each other's back. It's possible the only reason either of us maintained the willpower to survive this long was because we had each other to bitch about life to when things got bad. So, is today the day? Are you finally gonna tell her how you feel? Excuse me? Tell her how I
Feeling?
what?
What the fuck is a feeling?
I don't know. Yukimasa, what are feelings? Oh. Don't be coy. You know exactly what. It's about time you manned up and told her. I think you've got a better chance than you think. Do I need to remind you how old she is? 12, as of today. Practically an adult. I was knee-dip in dick at that age.
God!
Maria! Maria! No! You don't say that. Well, I mean, is she wrong?
She's not wrong. Actually,
Oh
I
my
do
god.
gotta tell you this one thing though. So, as we've been playing, I've been watching this one other Let's Player called Sobata, and he has some numbers. And so, do you remember that one question when we're with Nelly and Pauline and Maria, we're like, you have to pick who you are most interested in.
Yeah.
And he went through all the options. And if you pick Nelly, like they're all quiet for a moment, and then Maria just literally calls Michelle a pedophile. Like
What?
she doesn't even hesitate, and she doesn't like skirt around it. She just straight up calls him a pedophile.
Oh my god.
Which is like, Michelle, we know Michelle's not that, but I'm also actually kind of glad that, they say that, because, yeah, 27-year-olds should not be checking out 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
But then it kind of conflicts a little with this, but I think she's just joking.
Well, this was also how many years ago? 7?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
So she's probably like at this point, like what, 15?
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know how old she is in the present, but
she's gotta be. I think they're all around the same age, like
yeah. So yeah, she would have been
mid
pretty young
20s.
too.
You're comparing her to you? The longer you hold off saying something, the more difficult it becomes. Break a leg. Party's gonna be in the back, so there won't be any customers around to interfere. Alright. I chewed over what Maria had said as I watched her disappear down the brothel corridor. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't overanalyzing. I did, indeed, have special feelings for Morgana. Women seem to have this strange, somewhat terrifying ability to read people's minds, and Maria was a prime example of that. I had never once so much as suggested to anyone I might think of Morgana, but Maria had somehow managed to pick up on it almost immediately. Fortunately, she didn't seem particularly bothered by the fact, though if anyone else were to find out, I can only imagine the looks I would get. Oh, 22!
Oh. Oh.
Okay, that's different. Okay,
Uh,
stop.
yeah, stop.
I mean, Morgana was 12 and I was 22. That wasn't normal. I've never felt this way about anyone that young, either. Any other girl Morgana's age just looked like another kid to me. So why was she any different? She was covered in scars, and every other time we met, she would tell me to go to hell. And she refused to walk anywhere with me. And no matter how much ice I broke, I could never seem to get all the way.
The way you read that line was just so perfect.
Yet still, the world felt like it was just a little bit better a place when I was with her. It made me want to see her smile, no matter how grotesque her face. How would I even go about saying it, as whom I actually did? Even if your face still isn't healed in 4 years, I'll take you as my lifetime partner, Morgana? God, no, that's terrible. There has to be a better way to put it. Now I was getting stressed out, and it was all thanks to Maria. This was supposed to be a day of celebration, not fretting over stupid personal matters. Not long after I arrived at the brothel and made my way to the back room, Maria and a handful of other unoccupied girls showed up. Morgana, who was supposed to be the guest of honor, was even more what does reticent mean?
Like, reluctant.
Ah. The prostitutes chatted amongst themselves about work in unabashedly graphic detail, trading info on which customers were good and which customers were bad, all the while Morgana looking incredibly uncomfortable. You guys think you could maybe change the subject? Like we have anything else to talk about? Making the birthday girl want to hide in a corner defeats the whole purpose, don't you think?
Oh, no, don't mind me. I don't have anything I want to talk about.
Morgana said, almost in a whisper, her head downturned. At least eat something, then. The cookies are barely sweetened and dry as rocks, but they're edible. Jacobo, you little bitch! You got some stones to shit-talk my cookies to my face! Oh my god, I love Maria. I love this Maria. Stop it, Maria! Stop throwing things at me! The other girls cackled as Maria and I bickered. Hoping I might have elicited a reaction from Morgana as well, I snuck a glance over at her, but she remained expressionless. You are right about one thing, though. This is Morgana's day. So let's change the subject, Maria said with a little laugh, having hurled everything within arm's reach at me.
Like I said, I don't have anything to talk about.
Sure you do. You just have to look a little harder. Not saying you have to reminisce for us. It can be any. Let's see. Here's an idea. Are there any guys that got your eye? I spewed my tea all over the table.
There is.
And then I started choking.
And then I died.
What? Seriously? Holy shit. Oh, this is Maria. What? Seriously? Holy shit!
I love how you can tell from the cursing.
Who is it? Tell me, who's the lucky guy?
God.
Oh. Everyone fell silent. Maria gave me a sympathetic look, and I knew exactly what she wanted to say. Sorry, kid, you ain't got nothing on God. Asshole.
Jacopo calling God an asshole for stealing his girl.
I think he was talking about Maria.
Oh.
If you're gonna dream big, right? Yeah, I know where you're coming from, pining after the all-powerful, all-knowing God. I'm with you. Oh, this is him. Never mind. You bald-faced The grass may be a hell of a lot greener up there, but it's a bit far, don't you think? Here, but I don't know who's talking anymore.
I don't know either.
You're better off settling for the weeds down here. Did you just imply I'm a weed? Maria looked over and gave a wide grin at the sight of me grinding my teeth and continued. Say, the young man over... Wait! Stop right there. Don't say another word. Whoopsie. Me and my big mouth, I almost did your job for you. Damn it, Maria! This was not good. Like hell, I was going to let her corner me into saying it here. I stole a glance at Morgana, but her gaze was locked on her knees. I couldn't see what, if any, kind of reaction she was having. Morgana. What she was trying to say is that I
have to go.
What?
I think this is still Jacopo. I don't know. I have to go to the bathroom.
Sure. Morgana got up from her chair and left the room in silence. I imagine I was making a rather flaccid expression, because as soon as Morgana was gone, Maria began cackling like a madwoman. My reply was the nearest object, courtesy of my throwing arm. Loser! How hard is it to just say it? It would have been easier if you hadn't cornered me like that. You think I believe you would have done it without a little nudge? I would have, eventually. Eventually ain't gonna cut it. Now's the right time. And don't worry, me and the girls won't make fun of you for getting your rocks off to little girls.
Yeah, Maria.
Maria, you shouldn't condone this. That's not the reason I like her. Besides, I would wait at least 4 years before. Doesn't mean you can't tell her now. I think it'd do her wonders, really. She's, well, you know. So I think knowing someone cares about her will lighten the load a bit. When she comes back, give her the necklace and tell her how you feel. And if she turns you down, we can all have a good laugh about it. Maria and a few other girls chuckled. As uncomfortable as she was making me feel, she had a point. Regardless of whether Morgana reciprocated my feelings or not, there was a good chance that just putting them out there would help in breaking down the wall she had built in her heart. And maybe one day, I would actually be able to see her smile. I'll do it. I'll tell her. It didn't matter if I came out looking like a loser. It didn't matter if Morgana wasn't interested in me that way. What matters was that she knew someone accepted her, regardless of her appearance or the things she had been. And if, by some chance, there really was royal blood flowing through my veins, then I could make good on my promise to show her the world. I could put an end to her life of poverty and abuse, replace it with one of comfort and wealth.
I just remembered that was a promise. I think that was a promise he made to her in the third door too.
Really?
I think so. Or at least he did talk
To the white-haired girl?
Yeah, it's the white-haired girl who.
Yeah, when he gave her the
thing we were
like
never
the
able
animation.
to pronounce.
Yeah, the wheel.
Phonetoscope wheat. I don't know. I don't know.
Finascope or something?
Yeah,
The wheel.
the wheel. That's what we ended up calling it.
I could buy her even better medicine, something that could actually heal her face. If I truly were royalty, I could do so much more for her. Makes it sound like I want to be some kind of fairy tale hero or something. But honestly, I wouldn't have minded that. If I was going to make her happy, to wipe away all her past misfortune, why couldn't I make it a little dramatic? It wasn't usually my style, but in this case, I wouldn't have objected to a storybook ending. This, though. No, this wasn't the kind of story I was hoping for. The heavy curtains separating the guest rooms had been torn to shreds, and they were splattered with a man, apparently caught without enough time to defend himself, lay splayed out naked on the bed, his empty eyes fixed on the ceiling. The whole area reeked of blood. All I could dare was stare stupefied at the carnage. What the hell? Why? How could this happen? My dumbfounded muttering went unanswered, though. The few who were still alive could no better make sense of the incomprehensible massacre than me. The sudden, arbitrary upheaval of our world. The inexplicable, inescapable reality. Shortly after Morgana stepped out, I heard a woman scream from the front of the brothel. Next, a man shouting. At first, I assumed it was one of the customers losing his temper over something, but the tone of the scream seemed somewhere off for something like that. It wasn't long before the noise had escalated to alarming levels, so I dashed toward the source of the shouting. A good dozen men, bandits, or maybe thieves, they seemed more organized, had raided the brothel. They slaughtered all the customers, stripping them of any valuables, and they tied up the girls, killing any who resisted. The first thought that rose to my panicked mind was that I needed to find Morgana. I needed to get her out of here no matter what. I couldn't let her birthday turn into a tragedy. She had already been through enough, and I had to make sure she didn't suffer any further. I had to make her life into something good. I searched and I searched, but there was no sign of Morgana anywhere. Until suddenly, something seemed to crash into me from behind, causing me to stagger. It took a few seconds for the pain to set in, which is when I looked down to see the tip of a blade sticking out of my gut. Oh! Blood streamed along the metal surface, and there were little bits of flesh caught on the edges. I turned around just in time to see the man holding it kick me away. And before I had time to process what was happening, I hit the floor and lost consciousness. If I were a hero, I could have surely eradicated all the violent intruders in the blink of an eye, saving everyone. Protected that which I wanted to protect. Not had to lose anything, but I was just a mere boy. A weak boy, helpless against a few robbers. A useless boy, unable to protect anyone. When I woke up, Maria was kneeling over me, sobbing. No sign of the tough, foul-mouthed girl I knew. Aside from her, there were 2 other girls also crying, leaving only 4 survivors. Apparently, I wasn't dead. Looking down, I saw my bare stomach wrapped in a blood-soaked bandages. The brothel lay in ruins, a bloody pile of torn bedding, clothes, and bodies. Oh, God! I made my way back to the front, and all I could do was stare stupefied at the carnage. What the hell? Why? How could this happen? My dumbfounded muttering went unanswered, though. Maria stood beside me, quietly rubbing her trembling arm. Where's Morgana?
I think the first was Maria and the second probably Jacopo.
I'm sorry, I looked everywhere. But I couldn't find her. I'm so sorry. Oh, it was her. I wanted to say I wasn't blaming her, but I couldn't find the words. If I had had power, I could have prevented this from happening. What kind of power would I have needed, though? The physical strength to overpower the thieves? No, I needed to think bigger. If I weren't a peasant, someone of real influence and import, no one would dare stand up to me. No petty thieves would ever even consider a raid on me, and I would have the power to punish anyone who tried. But regardless, this would have never happened at all. I was supposed to give Morgana a good life, to show her the world, to make her smile. If only I had power, absolute, unflinching power. If I had climbed to the top of the ladder when the chance was offered to me. This all could have been avoided. If only I had asserted my place as royalty a month earlier, as the woman who claimed to be my mother had urged me to. I wanted power. The power to keep everything I cared about safe. The power to change this damn world. The power to stop those filthy thieves. The power to keep her by my side. I wanted power. I heard about the attack on the brothel and that you were hurt. I'm so glad to see you're well. About a week after the raid, I went to see the woman who professed herself as my mother. Oh god, I love when that happens.
Same.
As you would expect of someone who had served at the old lord's manor, she was very elegant and graceful. The shack where she stayed, though, was a shabby, drab place with bare what, and
I've-
that and dow. Wolf. You are concerned about my safety. Do you want to be the mom?
Of course. Show me a mother who is not always concerned about her child's safety.
Says the woman I'd never seen until a month ago.
Physical distance has no bearing on a mother's love.
She said with a soft smile. Age had clearly begun taking its toll on her, judging by her voice, but I could see hints of former beauty.
If you had gone to speak with the Lord and revealed your lineage when I first came to see you, you would never have been in that kind of danger. There is still time. Go to the Lord's manor. Show him.
I'm not really your son, am I? The woman fell silent for a moment, observing me. I could see the resemblance between us, yes, and I had no memories of my... It would be nice if she were to show back up one someday, but it just wasn't likely. The whole thing felt extremely contrived.
Discussions will progress much smoother if we both know what the other wants out of this arrangement. Start by telling me who... Oh wait.
Start by telling me who you really are. Were you actually a maidservant for the previous lord? She gave a nod and walked over to a grimy shelf and retrieved a ring that looked very much out of place. It was made of gold, engraved with an elaborate insignia.
Look at this, it's the Bonnier's family crest. The previous lord gave me the ring as a gift, and I've kept it ever since, even after our relationship was discovered and I was chased out. I didn't sell it, because I knew I was with child. They will have no choice but to acknowledge you as a legitimate heir if you show them this ring.
Why did you wait so long to come find me then?
I was afraid they might kill you if I brought you in as a baby.
Why were we separated?
Misfortune. One day bandits came and kidnapped you. Presumably they were hired by the Barnier estate because they didn't want your existence to come to light. I consider it a miracle you're still alive.
I can only imagine the stern look on my face as I listened to the woman speak. Part of me did indeed want to take everything she said. Wanted to believe I was someone important, but I couldn't convince myself I had anything other than a commoner's blood running through my veins.
It would
I
appear
think
you...
this is... It would appear you've done your research. I don't have any other family to the best of my knowledge, which does indeed make me a good candidate for you to step in and claim your stake on. If I were to guess, your child with the Lord has either passed away or never existed at all. It's probably true that you worked at the Bonnier's manor, and it's probably true that you had relations with the former Lord. You were chased out and now you live in poverty. You want to go back to your former, more comfortable life, and while you're at it, take vengeance on the current Lord. But, being a woman, you have no means to accomplish that yourself. So you came up with the idea of using a fake son. If your child were still alive, he would be right about my age, wouldn't he? and we look similar enough for you to convincingly claim a relation. But the biggest reason you chose me is because I've made something of a name for myself. Because I was one of the people involved in inciting the revolt 3 years ago. The perfect choice to spearhead a revolution. How dramatic. The man who set the Lord's slaves free was secretly his family. The people would eat it right up. So, how far off am I? For some time the woman sat in...
Oh my god, the shortest fucking thing. Oh my god, you guys. One job.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require
What are
only
you?
the strength to follow it.
Oh.
Ugh.
Don't do that to Moon. Oh god, now I'm gonna have to spend like the entire time trying. Oh. Not good. Alright, there we go. Kinda where we need to be now. It's a fucking mood too.
Yeah. I like the little snail.
Oh my god. Rest in pieces, fucking Kidane.
Be gone, fiend.
Rest in pieces, that fucking jellyfish.